Well, could the White House meeting be a game changer in the Middle East peace process for a Palestinian perspective? Let's go live to Haifa, Israel, with Diana Buttu. She's a former legal advisor to the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization. Diana, thanks for being on the program. Let me begin what you are expecting from the meeting between Mahmoud Abbas and between President Trump. Considering U.S. administration has really yet to articulate a cohesive strategy here.
I'm expecting absolutely nothing to come out of this meeting, and the reason that I have very low expectations for this is the people that President Trump has surrounded himself by and the positions that he's taken. This is a man whose campaign was largely supported by a man named Sheldon Adelson, who himself is a huge supporter of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This is a man who does not believe in the two-state solution, doesn't believe in any form of equality or rights for Palestinians, and President Trump himself has turned a blind eye over the course of his 100 days to the fastest rate of Israeli settlement growth. Plus, as your intro leaded up to, this is a man who has also indicated that he's going to both defy U.S. policy and international law by moving the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem. So I have very little expectations that anything will come out of this meeting. I think it's simply being done to show the world that he's trying to be a leader, that he's trying to do something. But like every other president who has preceded him, he's simply kicking the can.
Diana, some might argue his unconventional approach might actually be an asset here.
Well, it's true that he certainly comes with an unconventional approach, but at the same time, this is a man who views this as simply a real estate deal, which it is not. This is a question of the denial of Palestinian freedom for 50 years, the expulsion of Palestinians for nearly 70 years, and the fact that Israel continues to view itself as being above the law. Instead of President Trump turning a blind eye to this settlement activity, what he could have done, and if he wanted to be somebody who is not being conventional, is that he could begin to impose sanctions on Israel, which is something that no other U.S. president has done. Instead, what he's done is simply turned a blind eye to allow Israel to continue to do more of the same. So while he may be unconventional, he's coming to this issue with the same conventional approach of simply allowing Israel to do whatever it wants to do.
We should add the Trump administration did ask Prime Minister Netanyahu to kind of put a hold on Israeli settlements, and they have said they are looking for an ultimate deal when it comes to Israeli-Palestinian talks. Let me move on to disunity among Palestinians, Diana. Hamas in charge of Gaza, Abbas's Fatah in control of the West Bank. Can Abbas truly represent the interest of the Palestinians when he's also really losing popularity at home and there's so much division?
I agree with you, and one of the problems is not just that he's losing popularity. The latest public opinion polls are showing that 64% of Palestinians believe that he should resign. At the same time, I think it's important to keep in mind that neither of these political parties really have any form of legitimacy on the ground. We've got Mahmoud Abbas, whose term expired in 2009 and has continued to lead since that time without elections. And similarly, in the Gaza Strip, their term expired in 2010, and they continue to rule even though their term expired some 7 years ago. So when it comes to the Palestinian spectrum, there definitely is disunity, and this has been the number one issue that Palestinians are indicating is something that needs to be resolved immediately, alongside with and coming up with a strategy to challenge Israel in order to end the occupation.
Diana, very quickly, the peace process stalled since 2014. What is the number one thing that needs to happen to get the negotiations back on track?
Well, I don't think that there should be negotiations. What I do believe is that Israel should be held accountable. It should be subject to sanctions for continuing to defy international law and continuing to build war crimes, which are known as, which other people refer to as settlements. This is what we need to do. We need to recognize as the Palestinians who are living under military occupation, and rather than giving excuses for Israel to continue to deny freedom, they should be held accountable by the international community.
Diana Buttu with the Palestinian perspective. We certainly appreciate it.